From recruiting and consulting firm Riderflex, I'm your host, Steve Urban, and here is your Riderflex episode of the day. On today's episode of the Riderflex podcast, 8 tips on working from home or working virtually from anywhere. The entire team at Riderflex, we all work from wherever we want. There's no home office. And so we've been doing that now for several years, and I thought I'd share with you some tips, or at least here are my personal tips on working from home if you're thinking about trying it or you've just started. 8 things I've learned. Number 1, make damn sure your internet speed and your internet connection is good. Get the business version, if you will, from your provider. And that'll help you in so many ways if you're working from home or working from a virtual location. So that's number 1. Just make sure your internet is top of the line and the speed and connection is strong. Number 2, have a separate office set up. Don't try to work from a laptop in your kitchen or in the living room or from your couch. Really have a separate room with an office where you can get some privacy. Number 3, your desk setup. I have a sit and stand desk. I recommend those. They're great. But I would just make sure that your area is set up, a nice monitor or a nice keyboard or whatever it is you need to be very comfortable, a nice office chair. Make sure your desk setup is solid and is just as good and as comfortable as it would be in an office setting. Number 4, we really encourage video conferences. If you have a remote team and all of you work virtually, I just really suggest that you chat with each other over video as much as possible. Even if it were just a regular phone call that you would normally do on your cell phone, try and use Zoom or some other tool. And every time you talk, try to do it over a video conference or a video chat. The more you can see each other and watch facial expressions, etc., the better off you'll be. Even if it's a one-on-one touch base, even if it's a 7-minute quick chat about something, just try to do it on Zoom or whatever tool you want to use for video chat. Number 5, take your lunch. And when you do take your lunch, move away from your desk. Get up, move around, go to a different room, go down to the local coffee shop, get in your car and move around a little bit. Don't eat lunch at your desk when you're trying to work from home. Number 6, walk. Or do some sort of exercise during the day. I personally, when I eat lunch, I'll take an extra 30 minutes and walk around the block a couple of times. Whatever it is you do there, just make sure you're moving around. Don't stay, stationary at your desk for 8 straight hours. Number 7, monitor your grazing. Yeah, how much you eat. Every single time you go into the kitchen for a fresh cup of coffee, don't grab those little pieces of candy that are, on the counter or whatever. Grazing and eating constantly all day can be a problem if you work from home because you're going into the kitchen usually to get a cup of coffee and there's all kinds of food in there. And number 8, monitor your errands or your house chores, if you will. It's real easy to say, well, during the day tomorrow, I'll go pick up the cleaners or I'll, go down to the bank or whatever. It's easy to kind of move into a situation where you're constantly plugging in lots of errands or house chores throughout your day, and that can quickly get away from you. And then you are burning minutes away from your desk when you should be working. So that's my last one, is just monitor errands and try not to run a bunch of errands that you wouldn't normally run if you had to go to an office. And there is your Riderflex tip of the day. The Riderflex podcast features entrepreneurs, business executives, and the stories behind how they got there, as well as daily tips on career advice and job interviews. Our show can be heard just about anywhere these days, but you can visit riderflex.com and click on the podcast page to hear all the previous episodes and learn more about the recruiting and consulting services we provide. Contact us at the email address info@riderflex.com or 888-964-5876. Thanks so much for listening, and if you enjoy our show, please be sure to subscribe to our channel and like the episodes.